I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Hello, everyone. As per usual, we'll be starting at the 6:15 mark. And if you guys are watching this on the playback back, please check down below, and I'll actually put the timestamp on when we get started with the recap. But until then, I'm going to allow people to come into the room. Thank you for those of you who are already in the room. As Baba Baby Binky Blanket would say, please share, like, subscribe. This is Jasmine. Oh my God, Jasmine, this little animation of you and the boys is so cute. Yeah, Crystal, girl, I've been here. This is the third week I've been doing this. This is the third week, girl. Hi, JW. Hi, Dedria. Hi. Is your name just Deidre? Am I just calling you Dedria for no reason? I did not take any pictures, which is a rookie mistake on my end. So we're just going to have to go off of our memories of what these fools look like and what happened in this. Life after lockup. What's the name of this episode? Oh, that's what I didn't get. What's the name of the episode? And some chapstick. That's also what I need. What's wrong, Gato? What do you need? What do you need? Nothing. You need nothing. You're fine. This is called Positives and Negatives. Yeah, positives and negatives. Gato has taken this exact moment to want to play. This exact moment. No playing, friend. No playing. I'll be right back, guys. Hey, Joy. Hey, Jasmine. Hey, Nicole. I'm going to have a little Cabernet Sauvignon. Okay. Zeruiah and Troy have entered the chat. So let me add their pictures up to the Hall of Shame. Jensen, hi. She just saying that's fine. Jasmine and Jensen, hi. How are you? Aw. That's so sweet. Yeah, girl. I know when I see your name, I'm like JW, and then I go Joy. That's what it's like JW Joy in my head. You guys are the OGs. Okay, so what's been happening this week for me? 90 Day Fiance has happened. I hope you guys are listening to the podcast. I eventually am going to strike out on my own very soon here, and I'm going to do 90 Day Fiance the other way on YouTube. So I will be doing 90 Day Fiance the other way here on YouTube, as well as Love After Lockup. But we know Love After Lockup's only about 10 weeks, and this is week 3. So, or 2, 3. So we got a couple more weeks of that. And then I'm going to add, I want to watch Match Me Abroad, because they keep showing me this guy from Match Me Abroad who looks like an absolute show. And so I want to talk about him, but I got to watch the show in order to talk about him. So that's going to be coming up too. So I hope you guys will be interested in that content. I'm not sure what everybody's watching, but yeah, I'm still in my TLC bag. Hi, Chantal. I heard that there is a Donna Summers documentary that I kind of want to get into, and maybe an Ed Sullivan documentary that I kind of want to get into. Interested in seeing like how Ed Sullivan shaped modern media today. And, you know, Donna Summers, looking for my heart out, baby, waiting for loving to come. Yeah. Looking for some baby this evening. Need some baby tonight. I want some baby this evening. Da, 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 da. Oh, okay. So it was good. Ed Sullivan was good. No, I do not refuse. It's just that I did not know that it was like Big Brother, that you have to like lock in. And I wasn't prepared to lock in the way that it needed to be. So when it comes back, I'm in. I'm in, because I feel so out of pop culture loop because I don't know anything about it. I'm actually watching the Found was canceled and Handmaid's Tale and Law and Order on the break. Yeah, that's how I have my books. I'll just read nonsense books until like my good stories come back. Then my stories. Where does Donna Summer come? I heard it's on HBO. My friend just watched it. So I gotta check that out. All I know is that I'm over all things Love Island, and it has lost its appeal. Oh no! Just when I'm starting to get into it. Not when I'm just starting to get into it. 14 people in the room. If we can go on ahead and give this video a thumbs up, that would be awesome. Oh, thanks, Python. Look at your picture. Look how cute you are. Did your name used to be something different? Because I don't recall Python. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'll do next season. Choo choo. Yeah. I'll be on the train with you. Don't worry, I got you. I'm in. I'm back. I'm back. Like, I'm back. I can't keep allowing things to distract me from my goal of taking over recaps. Taking over love relationship recaps. I was just looking at all of because I put so much energy into DocuSweeties, and I have forgotten like just what Just Call Me Wah is. And so I'm like, why? You know, it was hard for me to do both. And I'm really trying to get out of my day job so that I can do both. Like, I'm trying to just get out of my day job. It just takes up so much of my energy. You guys have no idea. I'm HR. I just want to go to a place where I come in and nobody talks to me. Okay. I want to come in a place where nobody talks to me and I just get my little work done. And then I pretend to be working on and be doing thumbnails and social media. Because social media really is like 5 hours of my day. I mean, that's 5 hours of my good daylight. Okay. Because I have to come up with the funny thing, post it on here, there, and everywhere. Okay. Luckily, Meta has something called Business Suite, which allows me to post on both Facebook and Instagram at the same time. And luckily, StreamYard, which is what I'm using right now, allows me to post on both Facebook, and YouTube. So I'm live on both platforms right now. So hello to those of you who are following me on Facebook. Thank you for joining. So it's just like, I cannot do two things at once. I can do two things, but I cannot have a paying job. I can't have a paying job. I just have to like quit and become a bartender. I got to do something. I can't do it. I can't do it. I wish I could work from home, but that's not what's happening. Oh my God. I love that for you. I want to work from home so bad. Oh, hello. I really, really missed your recaps. Thank you. You have to watch earlier seasons. The UK version is much better. A bunch of those couples are actually married now with 2-3 kids. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been doing 90 Day Fiance UK as well. It was just Paige. Haha, no worries. Okay, yeah. I was like, I don't recall Python. 90 Day UK is cool. It is. It's cool. I like it. It's better than their original at this point. Except for the Andre and Libby drama. I'm just like, snooze fest. Snoozy boozy. So I can go back and check the earlier Love Islands and kind of go back and watch those if I don't have anything going. Because let me tell you, 90 Day Fiance HEA is going until the end of November. The end of November. And we are already, 8 episodes in? So we're 2 months in. And we've got 3 months to go. Isn't that crazy? I will always be shocked with how long these shows are. Okay, let me see what episode we're on. 7. We've just completed the 7th week of 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. 7th. Okay, that's almost 2 months, and we have until the end of November. The end of bloody November, y'all. This shit is wild. So who knows? And then Hunt for Love, which was good. It is done. I think they did 13 episodes, and there's 2 tell-alls because that's going to be done on the 8th. And then, or the 1st. And then on the 8th is The Other Way. So get your trash TV ready. 16 people in the room. Please go on ahead and like this video. We're about to get started in almost 2 minutes. And yeah. Looking for okay. Welcome to my recap of Love After Lockup. This is season 6, episode 13. What's it called? Positives and negatives. Yes. Positives and negatives. You know what I've really been into is the cornstarch community here on YouTube and on TikTok. Cornstarch. Okay. I've made me some cornstarch too, and I want to crunch, but I have to do this. But I'm like, ooh, I want to crunch. I don't swallow it though. I know people, there's like the huge controversy within the community about swallowing it. Don't swallow that shit. It'll just sit in your gut. It does not break down in the way that it should. All right. Here we go. 45 seconds. Grab your snacks. Get your beverages. Gato, you're fine. You're fine. No, you're fine. Oh yeah, I'm not telling you. If you're not into it, don't get into it. I just have pica. Like my mouth waters when I think of like dry texture in my mouth. It's weird. Okay, here we go. Hey everyone, my name is Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of Love After Lockup. This is season 6, episode 13, Positives and Negatives. All right, you guys, let's jump right into this episode. As always, please go ahead and give this video a like, share with your friends, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, but not least, if you guys laugh at all during this and you want to give your girl a tip, you can do so by these methods below, or you can do a super thanks or whatever the other options are on this thing. I actually don't need these headphones because it's just me and Gato, who's making a lot of noise because he has decided to play with a box. So here we go. All right, let's jump right into this episode, and let's start with our first couple. Now, they're messy. We know them. We love them, but it just feels mad disrespectful, and that is JK and Brooke. Girl, look at Brooke here struggling with this meatloaf. If you remember last episode, you're like, Mama, you're going to put that. This is them, the episode before last, pelvic thrusting in order to get pregnant. He got his whole mouth open to where you can see he's missing several teeth. And that was just 2 weeks ago from our recollections, but here we are. So she's taking 6 pregnancy tests. Now, why one would need to take more than 3, I don't know. I know you're supposed to take more than 1, right? Because you can get a false positive. I get that. But she's taken 6. And 4 of them are positive and 2 of them are negative. Now, thank you so much, Jasmine. I appreciate it. Now, let me tell you right now. If 4 of them are positive, I'm going to go on ahead and say you're positive. That's more than half are now saying that they are positive. So I think that you are pregnant. I think that you're pregnant. Yeah, I feel like, don't they cost like at least $15 each? I mean, unless she went to the Dollar Tree, which is why she got 6 of them. But they didn't look like Dollar Tree ones. I mean, not that I know what Dollar Tree pregnancy tests look like, but they didn't look cheap. They look like pretty decent ones. So I'm just like, girl, what you doing? So anyways, she's taking 3 and her mother is in the kitchen with her sons and they're having breakfast. She comes out and she is, having a good time with her sons for the first time in what feels like forever because she's been staying at Kathy's house with JK. Now, I was told that Bonnie lived in this house. So I don't know where it is that she actually lives. I expected to see Bonnie at the house. Did we not expect to see Bonnie at the house? Because, or were they at her mother's house? Where does she live? Where does Brooke and Bonnie live? Where do they live? So she wants to have a conversation with her mother, and the kids want to go off and play their video games. They're done filming for today. And I said, you know what? You don't need to be a part of this conversation because your mother's a real shit show. And she doesn't know she's a shit show. Isn't it hard and sometimes sad to watch these shows where these people think that they're like stellar and doing a great job? They're not stellar and they're not doing a great job, especially Brooke. So, and she knows this because she's made mention of the fact that she, has 2 baby daddies who left her. Both of them left her. And so she's still on this war path of destruction to her life in order to have this fairy tale outcome. And so she's complaining to her mother that JK has abandoned her kids. It's been a week since he's been mad at her and he's made no effort to reach out to her kids. And I'm like, well, duh, girl. Well done. And like the mother is like, oh my God. Between you and JK, if you are pregnant, this kid has not a chance in hell. And she's mad at her mother because she feels like she's supposed to be able to talk to her mother about anything. And her mother's just supposed to, I guess, accept it on the chin and just keep it trucking. And I don't know how. That is my problem. I am somebody who, unfortunately, I don't know how to support someone when I see them behaving poorly or being calamitous. Like, I don't know how to help them. All I want to do is shake them and tell them to stop. But that doesn't work. Shaking them doesn't work. Making them feel bad and shaming them and doing all those things does not work. They want support. And I'm like, but I can't support you in the shenanigans. And that is what her mother is like so upset and beside herself that she would put herself to get pregnant. And she's like, why can't you just support me? Isn't pregnancy good? Isn't bringing life into this world good? Not when you're dirt poor and you can't afford it, because you're not bringing, not to say that you won't bring, but it just feels like on top of not having any money and knowing it, on top of having a baby by a person who'd been in prison for X amount of time and doesn't have anything in front of, like, doesn't have a pot to piss in, is living from off his mother. Like, there's just so many better choices that could be made in this moment, regardless of whatever choices you made in the past. And it's like, how are we supposed to be happy for the life that you're bringing forth when the life that you're bringing forth may not have a good life because you're not making good decisions? The dating doula. Hello. You made it. Oh, I didn't even put it in the chat. I should have put it in the Patreon. I forgot to put this in the Patreon. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the Patreon. But yeah, it's so disheartening to see her make the choices that she's made. And I get it. If I were her mom, I'd be like, oh, put my hands up in the air from you, child, because you're just gonna do what you want to do anyway. So what's the point of you having a conversation with me? You know what I'm gonna say, and I know what you're gonna say. So what is the point in us having this conversation over and over and over again? So she ends up then driving over to Kathy's house where JK is living. And he opens the door and it's like, what the fuck are you doing here? Or like, whatever, right? Just some real disrespectful nonsense. And I'll never understand a situation where a woman will just let a man talk to her any kind of way. Like, the only way that I can think that is if your parents talk to you any kind of way. And so you're just kind of like, don't know that it's being spoken to any kind of way, but like, it is 100% being spoken. Like, you're never going to answer the phone door and ask me what I want. Like, I'm nothing. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So she's like, pulls out these pregnancy tests to tell him that she might be pregnant and like all that jazz. And is like dealing with whatever energy he's giving back to her. Just dealing with it. And I'm like, girl, get out. Mayday, mayday. Jump ship. But she doesn't. And so he goes to his parents' room and he's like, hey, can I holler at y'all in the living room for a minute? I'm like, it couldn't be me. It couldn't be me. Hold on just one second. Let me put this onto the live. Hey, let me holler at you for a minute. What the fuck? Who are you talking to? Oh my God. Listen, as much as I'm like, oh man, I'm so sad I don't have kids. Like, I'm like, if I cannot control the way that these people behave and they come to me any kind of way, I would be so mad if my son were to be like, can I holler at you for a moment? I'd be like, who the fuck is you talking to? Sorry, Jasmine's children. I'm going to be cussing in this. I'd be like, who are you talking to right now in this moment? So anyways, they come out and they sit them down on the couch and they have a conversation about what's going on. And what's going on is that she might be pregnant. And they're like, well, don't be trusting these tests. You need to go get a blood test. And they're upset, obviously. And the parents are like, what do you need us? Kathy and her husband are like, what do you need us for? And he's like, if I need help, of course, I'm going to ask for it. But we got a situation. She took a pregnancy test and y'all ain't being much help. We got a situation. Mama Kathy bought you some condoms. So we don't got a situation. You got a situation. You got a situation. Not me. Nope. Mama gave you the stats. She said it costs $375,000 to have children. She gave you condoms. So it's not a conversation that we need to have. This is a conversation where you need to figure out what you're going to do. And then Brooke is like, I don't understand why you guys aren't excited about it. She's like, I think I'm a good mother. And don't they think that JK will be a good father? JK is not a good person. I don't understand how can Brooke separate the way that he treats and talks to her from the way he will either show up in his kid's life, the way example he's going to give them, or the way he eventually will treat them. Like, it's not all different. Now, there are some crazy people out there who can treat people completely different than each other because of whatever their love languages or whatever. But like, I mean, it is so much that JK is exuding that is not positive to make me believe that he would be a good parent. I don't think he knows what that looks like. And so how can you do something when you don't know what it looks like? Is he going to take parenting classes? Is he going to go to therapy? Is he going to figure out how to talk to a motherfucker? Because right now he don't know how to talk to a motherfucker. And that motherfucker is Brooke. He don't know how to talk to her at all. So JK feels like it's a blessing. That's what he said. He's like, I feel like having a kid is a blessing, but is this really a good time to have a kid? And we're just like, if I could throw everything that I have right in front of me in the air so you can understand, just like, well, that's exactly what you and me and Kathy been talking about, is that this is not a good time to have a kid because you do not have anything. You don't have a pot to piss in. The only pot to piss in you have in is that woman who's living with Kathy. That's whose pot you have to piss in. Okay. So you can't be bringing a child into this chaos. Now, speaking of chaos, I am really worried for Daniel because it does not seem like Daniel's homeboys are in his corner at all. So Daniel is over being with Bianca to the point where he will tell anyone who will listen. And that anyone is his PO. And his PO gives a call to Bianca. Okay. So when we first come upon Bianca, she's filming and all of a sudden she gets a call from his PO and she hears what's happening on the other side of the line. She gets off and she's like, okay, Daniel's not coming back. So we're done filming. We're done. I'm done filming right now. And the producers are like, what's going on? What happened? She's like, I don't want to talk about it, but he's just not coming back. So we're done filming. Okay. Just get the camera out of my face. We're done filming. And the producer's like, what the fuck? We're putting these cameras down until you give us some words. She doesn't tell us anything. She gets in the car. She takes off the car camera and she takes off. Right. And then all of a sudden, maybe a couple of hours later, she chooses to resume filming. I think after she has a conversation with Daniel. And Daniel lets us know that court went really well and he only got 60 hours of community service. And then we find out that the PO called Bianca and said that her living space, the place where they both dwell, isn't safe for him. And so she's going to pull that address as a place that he is able to live. And Daniel's like, don't worry about it. I don't know why she told you that, but that, don't worry. I'll come in the morning. I'm going to stay here tonight. And Bianca's equally worried about him staying in Bullhead by himself because Bullhead is where he got in all of his trouble. So if you remember from last episode, the reason why he's currently in Bullhead is because he had to go to court for a shoplifting charge that he got prior to his stint in jail. And so he's worried that he could be taken back to jail or what the outcome is. And so the outcome is he only gets 80 hours of community service. He's very happy. And so there's a little bit of worry that maybe he'll meet up with his old friends and get back into his old habits just because he's happy or because he's around that element, which is a very valid fear. And I would give that to her. However, Bianca is not a safe landing space. She does not know how to help him and usher him through this new stage in life. And there's no way she could know that because she's only 24 years old. She's only 24 years old and she's dumb. So there's just no way. Watching them and having them on my screen is really difficult because it's not even fun. I see somebody like Daniel who to me is in recovery and needs somebody and doesn't need to be in a relationship, number one, because he needs to take care of himself. He can't take care of somebody else. But number two, he needs to be surrounded by people who are going to be there to support him in his sobriety. Okay. And he's already had a mishap with drinking once, and he doesn't want to be around her because she annoys him. She annoys us. So I can only imagine how annoying it is to be with her in general. So he tells her he's going to be back in the morning. And so she's believing of that. And he doesn't, though. He does not come back in the morning. Cut to him. And he is in Bullhead having a good time, feeling his own freedom. And he's saying that he just doesn't want to go back to hang out with Bianca because the anxiety. And he gets a call from one of his homeboys, and his homeboys invites him to the bar. And then we have a scene where he's in the bar and the friend is joking about him getting a Long Island iced tea and stuff like that. And, they talk about the fact that Bianca has a tracker on him and that there's codependency. And he says that he loves her and he wants to be with her, but he can't babysit her. And I'm like, then you need to break up with her because she wants a babysitter. She wants a babysitter. So you got to break up with her. All right, 25 people in the room, you guys, if you want to go on ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Again, if I've made you laugh at all and you want to do Zelle, PayPal and give me a tip, I'll gladly accept it. I want to say thank you to Michelle, because last week Michelle gave me a tip on Cash App. So thank you so much, Michelle, for that tip. I absolutely appreciated it. All right, next couple that we are going to talk about is our girl Leticia and our boy Keith, and her man Keith. I can't even say our boy. That's her man. That's her man. That's her man. That's her man. Okay. So lots of things happened in this episode for them. So first, they go to a lawyer because they have to talk about somebody for getting custody of Damari. I wrote down Damari, but it's spelled Dumari. It's spelled Dumari. It's Dumare. Dumari. Okay. So Damari, who is his son, who is 15 years old, is now in foster care. And that broke my heart, or like a group home. He's in with the state. That broke my heart. Okay. Because it just breaks my heart when anybody has to go into foster care. But something is going on with his mother. His mother was no longer capable or competent. And so he has to go into got with the state, but unfortunately he cannot go with his father because his father is in a halfway house. He cannot go with Leticia because Leticia is only his wife while in prison. So she's not considered somebody who would be responsible. And there's also the pending charges that she has on right now for theft. And so they're now talking with a lawyer. It's her and Doc, who is Keith's father. And they're talking with a lawyer about what the options are. And as the lawyer is talking, the lawyer is making so much sense. This man is like, sure, Keith may be a good person now, but like it's only been one day. Like, there's no way that we're able to say like he's a good person outside of prison. And so this man is telling Leticia this, like, the law is written solely for the best of the child. And when there is an issue with drugs, when there is a crime of drugs, that leads the courts to believe that there are possibly raids that are going to happen or will happen or have happened, that there are drugs in the home, and there's violence in the home. And because he has that on his record, and from the court's perspective, he is still that person, because it's only been day one, Keith will not be able to get custody of his child right away, even though he's out, because they don't know that he won't go back to that same behavior, and they want to put the child in a safe place. That's the one thing that's crazy to me about the system, is that I'm sure that there are good foster parents and foster homes out there, and I'm sure there are. But the majority of them, based on what we have seen in this society, is they are not good. So when the court decides that this child would be better off in a place where folks could abuse them, folks could put, locks on the refrigerator, folks, there's all kinds of shit that happens when you give custody of somebody else's kid to somebody and then pay them, right? So it's crazy that they would think. I just don't think that foster care is it. So anyways, hey Janelyn, how you doing, girl? Yes, it's nice to see you too. Hopefully he stays with his grandpa, but I don't even know that he was with his grandfather. Like, that's the thing, because Doc was there like he wasn't with him. So I don't know. I do not know. Anyways, so then we move on to her kids, and Keith is going to now leave the halfway house. He's been there for, I think, 2 months. And so she wants to make him a vanilla cake with chocolate icing or something like that. So she's with her daughter, Jahira, I think that's that child's name. And they're making a cake from scratch. Listen, I used to make cakes from scratch. I did. There was once upon a time in my life where, don't get me no Betty Crocker, girl. Go on ahead and give me the flour. Okay? Give me the flour, the baking powder, the baking soda. Give me all the ingredients. And then I was like, this is too much. Go ahead and give me that Betty Crocker. So I got the Betty Crocker and I started doing it. I used to love making cakes because I was a church girl. And, we have bake sales on Sunday. And it got to the point where my mother would then volunteer me to make cakes for the bake sale. And I had to stop baking expeditiously, because you're not going to volunteer me to do something. No, I'm not an extension of you. I'm not your pawn. So I had to be like, oh no, I'm not making the cake. So if you volunteer to bring cakes to a bake sale, take me out of the equation. So then she stopped making cakes for the bake sale too, because she didn't want to have to make all them cakes by herself. They'll be volunteering me for stuff. So when Leticia ends up saying, when dad comes home, he will be the boss. Now, why is Leticia teaching that child that? Why I don't understand that. Why I don't understand why Leticia is teaching that child that. I don't understand why. I don't understand that. If Leticia's such a boss bitch and a boss woman herself, why would she teach her child that? Okay. So then they started having a conversation about bio dad. This baby thinks that Keith is her biological father. And I did the math. I think she's 7 years old, maybe 8. Keith has been in prison for 11 years, but been with Leticia for 4. So that means that Keith came into her life at age 3 or 4. And there's no way to explain to a 3 or 4-year-old that this is not your dad, your biological dad, especially when Leticia has been telling her that this is your dad. And so right now, in this moment on national TV, this baby has to find out that the man that she thought was her biological father is not her biological father. I'm pretty sure that the reason why her father hasn't been around was clear to her. In her mind, she's like, the reason my father's not here is because he's in prison. Could you imagine what this child is thinking now? This child is like, oh, that's not so my real dad is somewhere here and just hasn't come and seen me this whole time? Oh, wow. So that to me is shitty. Shitty. That Leticia didn't make sure that her daughter understood that the man she chose to lay down with and make this child is not available. And I don't know if it's because maybe he is in prison. Who knows? But that child has no idea. And she just moved right past it. Like, oh no, he's not your bio dad. If I were a little girl, I would have been like, well, then where's my bio dad? What is Leticia gonna say? That's a conversation for another day. No, it's a conversation for right now. Cut them cameras. I'm sorry. You're right, baby. Can we cut the cameras real quick so I can explain to my daughter that her biological father is either not here, in jail, or just simply doesn't give a fuck? Can I have that conversation with my daughter and then we resume? We'll resume once the cake is out of the oven and I'm icing it. Okay. You guys go take an hour and a half break. That's what needed to happen. Because like you can't just unload that on a baby and expect her to just like move on. Like it's wild. So we also find out that her eldest daughter, Zeruiah, is still not interested in Keith moving into the house, still not interested in this whole situation. So Leticia's like, she's grown, she's older, she knows who her dad is. And so she's not really, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not saying that anything is up with Keith, but I just think it's real. And listen, if any of you out there have done this, then and it worked out fine, good for you. But unfortunately, I am too skeptical and scared. I'm not moving a grown man into my house with my 15-year-old. Like if he as a man, now Keith is a slightly different situation because he just came from prison. So I understand why it makes sense and she chose to get married to him. But I just really feel like if you were meeting somebody on the street, like at a bar, and he is whatever, and he knows you have teenage daughters and he is okay with moving into the home with your teenage daughters, I would be like, nah, that's y'all home. Y'all going ahead and just have a girl's situation in the house. You come and stay with me, babe. If he needs to make the woman ferry herself back and forth to him and let the children have their home. I'm not. It's disruptive, is all I can say. It's disruptive, and I just don't trust that man. I don't trust the man. Now, there was something online about a man who was like, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to move in with you because you have teenage daughters, and that's too." He said something weird, and we were all like, And I thought that he was right in not wanting to live there, but the reasoning that he gave was that he felt like the daughters would accuse him of rape. That's what he alluded to, is that they would accuse him of rape. And I'm like, well, why would they? if you weren't going to be mildly inappropriate to them. It felt like he was outing himself as opposed to being like, I want the girls to have their own space that they've had for the amount of years and grow up without a man in the house. So it's just like, I know it's a double-edged sword. It feels like you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. But like, I think really a grown adult woman should not allow a man to live into her home, to come into her home. Mm-mm, mm-mm. When she has daughters. No, don't do it. Don't do it. So she is now going to pick him up from the halfway house, and they go to a dinner or breakfast with the family. And Leticia really is, or tries to be, the star of this entire situation. Like, she's like, excuse me, everyone, toast, toast. Like, her and Zeruiah, to me, are the same energy of like, they need to be the center of attention wherever they go. Like, they really put a lot of energy into giving off a certain vibe and look, and they want people to look. They give it off, and that is what they want. They want to receive the adoration for the style and energy in which they're giving out. So then we have Benita, who is Keith's stepmom. She says, I'm the one that raised him. And I looked at Benita, and then I looked at Doc. And I don't know that Benita and Doc are still together. Maybe they are, but they look like they are vastly different ages. Benita looks like she's in her 60s, late 50s, 60s, and Doc looks like he's in his late 40s. Not to say that they can't be together. You know what I mean? But it just feels like, oh, and then we find out that Keith's father has also been in prison. So it's a pathology. Like, Keith's, like, it's a line of people being being in prison. And I was like, is Benita and Doc together, or is Benita Doc's ex-woman who helped him raise Keith? Or is Benita Keith's mama's girlfriend? Who is Benita? That's what I need to know. Is Benita Keith's mama's girlfriend? Who is she? She like, I raised him. And I'm like, okay, well, congratulations. But Benita has now charged him with setting an example for all the other young men in the family. And Keith is willing to take on that mantle. So good for him. Good for him. Okay. Everybody wanted her to hush. I knew you were going to say that. Wow. Yeah. People are tired. Like, we were like, shut up, Leticia. Also, Benita, tell me more about Benita. Hello. How are you? Walking red flag. All right, let's move on to Zeruiah and Troy. Troy and Zeruiah. I'm going to get her name down one day. So somehow these fools got money, and I don't know who they scammed or what they did, but they now have a house on the lake, and she is so proud of it. To me, I tell you that her and Leticia are cut from the same cloth. These girls will floss. These girls will show off. They want everyone to know that to think that they are bad bitches and that they got everything together. Somehow they got all their money. And look what it says here. Look, executive director. Executive director of what? She's an executive director and a substitute teacher. He's a maintenance worker and had criminal possession of something and attempted robbery. Girl, an executive director? Get off of my TV screen immediately. Immediately remove yourself. Like, an executive director of their fake ass company? Girl, if they don't get out of my face, these get out of my face. Exactly. So it has been 7 months since he's out of prison. They are in their lake house. I'm sure it's a rental. And they are decorating it for Christmas. They're still in New York, but they're not in Syracuse and they're not in Buffalo. So who knows where they are. But they're on a lake. Is that Lake Ontario? What lake is that? And they're putting up the Christmas decorations, having a conversation with her son. At some point, her son says, "Great heavens." And we all, even her, are like, "Great heavens? Who you been hanging out with? What old British person you been hanging out with?" Great heavens. So he currently has a floor shining business. You know what I mean? Listen, I cannot say that I'm a person that has business acumen. But people make it seem like having a business is just so easy. Like you just like wake up one day and you just buy the supplies and just have the business. You get the LLC. Having a business, having an LLC is nothing but trouble for me. It's just nothing but paying taxes on something where I don't even make any money. In fact, owing taxes on something where I don't even make any money. So how are you asking me for money for this? I don't have, this company does not make money. So why are you asking me for taxes on it? Like, I just don't, like, do people just be like faking that they have companies and it's fake? Like they don't actually have an LLC. They just kind of like do a service and get money. They just say that. So she says that they split the rent on a lake house. Why was that needed to be said? Split the rent on a lake house? Then we find out that Karen and Zeruiah have beef. They're still fighting over Troy. And then we have like this awkward moment where Troy's mother calls him during filming, and she's drunk and high. And I just feel bad for Troy. I feel bad that his mother shows up for him this way, and there is nothing that anyone can do about it. There's no conversation to be had. There's no like, this woman has been a drug addict and a drunk his entire life, to the point where it is normalized, where they have her on TV. They have her on TV, just like rolling a blunt, talking about, "Is Zeruiah with you? I got something to say, got some private matter, and I don't want to hurt her little feelings." Okay. So he doesn't end up she doesn't end up telling Troy whatever it is, because he's like, "I gotta go. I'm tired of this." But I just really feel bad for him. That's his experience. That, Troy comes out of prison and he has a daughter that he hasn't seen. He has a brother who's going down the same path, and family members who are pulling him to and fro to do things for him. And then he jumped into a relationship with Zeruiah, who was also pulling him to do things. And Zeruiah, like Kiana, like Leticia, just want to be all up in his shit. They want to be with him. They want to go with him. They want to do everything with them. They want to be like, have his back, be his ace boon. And the guys are just like, "Left me alone, guy. Left me alone." All of them, Daniel, every single one of these men who come out of prison and who have these girls, have a girl that's a hanger-oner and all just wants to like attach like a barnacle to their backs. And when they're trying to just get them off, the girls are fighting like, "No, I did it for you. They didn't do anything for you when you was in prison. I'm the one that held you down. I'm your husband. I'm your wife. I'm this, I'm that." And it just feels so overwhelming for me to watch these men try to get these women to stand the fuck down so that they can figure things out. And at the same time, I'm like, then you need to break up. If you are still trying to fix the problems of your family, if for some reason everybody expects you to come to their aid the moment you get out of prison, then you can't have a girlfriend yet. You can't have a wife right now. This is too much. This is what is going to cause you to go back to a life of crime or drugs, because you have jumped back into life feet first, head first, whatever first. And you're truly not prepared for the grabbing of these partners who just want all of your attention. And it just worries me, because that's what they end up getting in a fight later, is that he tells her that night that his sister calls him and wants him to come back. And I don't know, do what? I don't know. Snatch the little brother up by the hem of his garment and pull him to the lake house so that he can save him. Troy can't even save himself. And the same thing with Benita, charging Keith with the idea of like, I don't know, being the family like male fucking counselor / like, don't do this, don't follow my path. What are these men supposed to do? Come out and have like a boys club? Just try to help their family members not go the way of drugs and jail? It's already too late. It's already too late. It is not Troy's job to save his brother. It is that boy's family to save him. There's the older men in his life. Troy is barely doing what he has to do for himself. Anyways, I'm gonna get off this high horse right now because it's just frustrating. It's frustrating for me. It's hard. Okay. And so he then packs a bag the next morning and gets up and leaves. And Zeruiah is upset because, of course, she wants to go and she wants to be there. She wants to be there to support him, but it doesn't feel like support. It feels like she just wants to be there to watch him, to make sure that he doesn't make any poor choices. Like she knows better than him. And they get into an argument and she tells him to choke on the food. And again, it's this like really like Zeruiah can come up to us and be like, I really want Troy to make the best decisions for his life. And as his wife, I'm here to support him. And then in the next statement, when they're at home, he's like, thank you for the food. And she's like, choke on it. Like the duality of these evil women is like astounding to me. How can you sit in front of this camera in your confessional and seem so like together and professional and understanding and yada yada blase blase, but then in real life just be so mean? Be so mean. I just am like, I don't get it. So he then packs bags and leaves, and she's like, she tells him that he's lying because he was withholding the truth or some shit. Just like a lot. All right. Next couple that we're going to talk about is Courtney and Will. Now, this one I found really interesting because I really feel like Will is standing on business. Even though he ain't shit for what he's doing, he's standing on business. Will is like, be with whoever the fuck you want to be, but it's not going to be me. I already did what I wanted to do. I came and did what I was supposed to do for you. I gave you the chance to have a better life with me, and you fucked up. And so now you have to sit in the consequences of your choices. And she's like, you didn't even give me a chance. He's like, I did. That was your chance, and you fucked that up. So now you have no more chances. So Courtney says that she's not feeling well at the halfway house, and so she's going to take her laundry to her friend's house. And then she finally calls Will, and Will responds with, where the hell have you been? Because apparently Will has been trying to contact her, and she hasn't been for the last week. She hasn't been responding. And so she's like, if you're not going to be who you said you were going to be for me, I'm going to ignore you. And we find out that she has a job at the auto shop, even though she is like known for like grand theft. But she says that they believe in second chances, so they gave her a job. She says that Will promised to pay her $1,000 a month as a stipend or as her allowance, but she's only seen $300 from him. And so as she's outside on the phone, which looks like a really cute little area too, she is talking to Will on speaker, obviously because of the cameras and shit. And so Mark comes out from wherever he is to listen. And he's like, well, then who are you with right now? Because he knows his wife, that she ain't gonna be by herself. And she's like, I'm not with anybody. And then Mark's like, why does it matter? And he's like, well, Will's like, well, I hear somebody in the background, so you're with somebody. So now you're lying about that. And so she's annoyed because she's really trying to manipulate Will into giving her money, but she can't do it because he's now ruined it for her. And so he's like, well, now I know you're with somebody. And, she's talking about the transition from prison to the real world, how it's very hard. And we're like, duh, which is why you shouldn't get married. And she says like out in the real world, you have to worry about paying for things, where in prison, the worst thing you have to worry about is where you're going to sit at lunch. And I said, that's a very real thing to say. That's a very real thing to say. And she says to him, you don't support me and you just nag me because I'm not perfect enough for you. Again, no one's asking for perfection. We're just asking you to make decent decisions as an adult. No one's asking for perfection. He tells her that she's not a wife, yells at him, and says, we're breaking up. And then she gets so upset that she goes and she's sadly laying on the bed. And she's like, what's the point of marriage if, she said, the point of being married is that, you love and grow with somebody. He didn't give us a chance. No, you didn't give you guys a chance. And then Mark comes in and is like, you're more of a woman than I could possibly imagine. And I was like, nobody talking about her being a woman. We're talking about her being a wife. And that is what she is not. She's a woman. She's not a wife. At least Will's idea of what a wife is. And Mark tells her that she has so much ability and life ahead of her. And then they ask Mark if they've been intimate. And Mark's like, whoa, there have been moments. We've had our fun. And I'm like, I choose to believe her and that she didn't have sex with Mark, but maybe she did. But also, the fact that men are so gross, you guys. The answer is a yes or no question. No, we haven't been intimate. Or we have been intimate, maybe we haven't gone all the way. But I love Courtney. He's like, yeah, we've had some hot moments. Girl, shut up. Shut up. What hot moments? Define those hot moments for me, please. Okay, here, let's go to the chat. Guys, again, if I've made you laugh, go on ahead and tip me if you want to at the bottom options, as well as you can do a super like or super thanks or whatever happens on YouTube. Don't forget, most importantly, to give this video a thumbs up. Okay. Her fake charity. Yes, Zeruiah's fake charity. And her son is very sweet. You're absolutely correct. He's with his grandparents all the time and it shows 100%. Great heavens. 100% with that great heavens. And then we've got, no, this biz-ish is hard. LOL. I'm currently making earnings for mine to distract myself from all the marketing and stuff I need to. Girl. People are like, I have a business. I'm like, you don't have an LLC. You just be doing stuff. That's what it is. You just be doing stuff. Yes, girl. I have a rental that keeps making taxes and I don't make no money. Her brother is, and the brother is 26. Now, Vaughn is 26? Oh, that's a grown man. What is Troy gonna do? She wants to supervise for sure. Isn't she pregnant? I'm so confused because she gets an attitude if someone asks about a baby. Oh, is this Courtney or Zeruiah? Courtney or Zeruiah? Wanting a sugar husband is crazy. She has no idea. Like, also, I'm like, is your mother married to your father, or did you grow up seeing a married people? Because a lot of times I think people have an idea of what marriage is, and I'm like, it's a lot harder than the storybooks would have you believe. I was listening to Here's the Thing with Kev and Angel, and Angel was talking about how she and Marcus had a really good therapist on the one time that they went to marriage counseling before they got married, and that marriage counselor told him that this is who Angel is. Like, she's not going to change. Like, that you have to accept this about this person in order for your marriage to work. And I think that's a lot of things that people don't really think about, is that they think like, oh, I'll help him change or I'll help her change. No, you have to be aware of a pattern of behavior with people. And then you have to decide whether or not you can accept that. And if you can't accept it, then don't go into something long-term with them, because people aren't going to change. Like, I want to be somebody who comes home every day and washes the dishes after I eat. That is who I want to be. But due to childhood trauma or whatever it is, just wanting to be chill after I eat, I cannot just clean up afterwards. It's going to be a few hours later. It's going to be a few hours later. Okay. I ate today at 1 p.m. and them dishes are still in the sink. I might get to them tonight, but because it's not overflowing, I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. Like, it just is not in me. I don't want to do it. It's not that it's not in me. It's just that I actively don't want to do it. Maybe if I lived with somebody, like, I would do it, but like, no, I don't want to. I'm not going to do it. I'm an adult. I want to live my own life. So I just feel like when these folks try to change people, it just really is a lesson in hitting your head against a wall, because that's not what it's going to be. And if you think that an idea of like a wife or a husband is just going to like take on, like, how was Will supposed to know she was a good wife? You didn't even know her as a girlfriend. And then she calls him out on it. She's like, what did you expect when you're riding in prison looking for a girlfriend? And I said, listen, touche. When you were getting somebody out of prison, this person is a fixer-upper. This is a person who hasn't lived on their own in a long time. If they ever were in a relationship, they probably weren't good in it. Like, these people are not just ready to go. And I'm interested in seeing how Keith behaves, because we have seen a couple examples of it, right? We've seen Keith. We've seen Rob from Rob and Tinny. Maybe that's it. But all the rest of them have just been a full shit show. A full shit show. I will always remind us of Chance and Taylor because they're my favorite. Chance is my favorite. It's like the best. Okay. If you guys have been longtime followers of Love After Lockup, I want you to put down below who you think the best couples are. And I'm not talking about like doing the best or whatever, but just the best as far as TV goes, that they don't really get on your nerves and you know, you kind of like them. You know what I mean? Who you go ahead and put that. Let's talk about Mike and Justine. So Mike and Justine are fighting. I mean, this is going to be short. Mike and Justine are fighting because of him wanting to do another business venture before getting married or doing a wedding. They slept separately that night. And we have a little bit of a scene between him and his mother, and the mother saying that they desperately need to go to therapy. And I think they do. I think that Justine has the proper nomenclature to be able to express how she feels. There's a certain part of me that believes that she's like watched a lot of like couples therapy or something. Like, I don't know if she's had therapy herself, but she seems like she kind of understands like how to communicate. And Mike is the one who is not good at that. He's the one who was still kind of like swerve and dive and try to like figure out ways to not tell her things or to like hold things back. And because he's trying to have control over it, there's still a part of him that's still uneducated when it comes to like how to be in a relationship and do things together. And so he will bring up the fact that her and her mother don't have a good relationship. And her and her mother don't have a good relationship from what we can tell, or what I tell, is because I feel like Justine probably started having kids with deadbeats fairly early on. And her, like Brooke, she wanted her mother to just blindly support her, and her mother wouldn't. And for her, it probably feels like her mother's love is conditional. And I worry that I would have been that kind of parent, that I would show that my love was conditional to my kids when they made mistakes, or I hate to say made mistakes because most people don't see it that way, but when they choose paths that are unnecessarily hard just because they're not paying attention or because they want to be hard-headed. And I think that that's what's going on with Justine. There might be other stuff going on 100%, but the catalyst of what we saw was because Justine keeps having children with people and without like getting her shit together. I feel like her and Mike being together is probably the most stable she's ever been. But her mother's still pissed off at her for having a bunch of kids. Oh, look at this. Andrea and Lamar. Yes, this was really good. Even though Andrea got on my nerves, this was good. This was good. I'm talking about Love After Lockup. But yes, I do think Yara and Jovi are good too. Brittany and Marcelino, yes. But they were good. I liked them. Yep. They're good. Andrea and Lamar. Cameron and Eris are good too. Good. Yep. What's your preference of place to receive a tip? Cash App or Venmo is or Zelle, one of the ones that bypass YouTube, because YouTube takes a cut of it. And then I don't get the YouTube one until like 30 days after, if I get it. So with YouTube, you only get paid out if you make $100. And because I have been out of the game for about 1.5 years, I won't get any of the tips. First of all, I'll only get like 70% of the tip, and then I will not get it until the total payout in my AdSense is 100. So it just gets to me later. Oh yes, Amber and Puppy. Except for Puppy broke my heart when I could tell she was back on drugs. And then Amber, oh, poor Amber. I hope she's doing okay. Because last we heard with Amber is that, she had a blood issue, and girl, she was on the brink, and I'm glad she's okay. Oh, yeah. Louis and his mama. Louis and Donna. Yes, Monica, I'm back. I'm going to be doing the other way. I'm not going to let anything get in my way this time. You know what I mean? I'm pushing through. If I have to do lives at midnight in order to get shit done, I do. Or do lives early in the morning to get it done, I'm going to do it. I got to do it. I miss this so much. I miss you guys so much. I miss Just Call Me Wah as an entity. The pandemic really kind of fucked me up. Angela and Tony. Yes. No, don't say that, Jesse. Angela and Tony were great. That is quintessential. Well, there's not high stakes. The reason why let me tell you what the reason why Angela and Tony are great. Because Angela had grown ass kids. Angela had her own shit. And in her own way was fly as fuck. Like, it may not have been my style, but she had a style. And, you know, and then the fact that when she kicked him out, she kicked him out. I actually like Lindsay too. Lindsay got better when it was Lindsay and Blaine. When it was like Lindsay first season, when she was carving on people's desks and getting like, you know, mischievous misdemeanors, that was too much. But I like Lindsay too. Like, I think that there are some good couples in this show. And then there's like extremes. Like, as much as I loved Clint and Tracy, they will always stand out for me. But like, God rest Tracy's soul. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, this show is also one of the shows where people have died. There's been a lot of drug overdoses on this show. And that's one of the saddest things about it. But yeah. All right, you guys, that's the end. Oh, did I finish talking about Mike? Yeah, Mike and Justine had a good conversation downstairs where he basically told her that he was, you know, sad that he had to sleep on the couch. And she was like, listen, what was going to happen if you come upstairs is that I was going to try to talk to you and you were going to roll over and get on your phone and it was going to piss me off. So I'm glad that you slept down here. And I just really think that they need therapy. I have high hopes for them. Their drama is so manufactured, but I want them to have therapy so that they actually make it through. And I feel like Marcelino and Brittany needed therapy too, because they didn't actually end up making it through, which really made me sad. Lizzie and Scott. Yes, girl. What do you mean you don't know why you love Kevin? Don't we all love Kevin, his little fine ass? He's not even fine. I think if I were to see Kevin in public, in person, I'd be like, ooh. But there is something about his energy and the fact that Kevin has his own place. Kevin is one of the only men on this show, when I'm thinking about it, that actually had their own place, their own apartment that I could tell was theirs with his red curtains. I'm not gonna lie, Miss Lacey and her Sean and John. Yes, I love that too. Sean and John. But all right, you guys, thank you so much for joining. It is a pleasure as always. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to give a tip if I made you laugh. And I will see you next week to talk about Love After Lockup. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Jump in the line, rock your body on time. Oh.